All right. So let me give you a little backstory straight into what we do and who we're serving today. So, out of school, I work for a tech company and we were building the Netflix for optimal living or personal development. And so, as head of content curation, I got to work with 250 plus actually of the world thought leaders in everything from neuroscience to productivity to conscious business, conscious parenting, mindfulness and spirituality, health and fitness, you name it. And it was the coolest job on the planet. And unfortunately, because I was so excited about it, I was working 75 plus hour work weeks. And unfortunately, at 24 years old, I kept getting dizzy, flu like symptoms. And it started to happen every 2 weeks. And it would be every Friday afternoon. And it would start to get better by around Sunday afternoon. But it kept going and it kept getting worse and worse and worse until it was almost every week. And I remember there was this morning distinctly where I woke up out of bed and I was turning to try to get my phone and I couldn't even get it. Now, my girlfriend at the time, she looked at me and instead of having like pity or feeling bad, she was like, "What the hell? Like you are never home because you're constantly at work, and when you are home you're sick like this, and then the only thing that I ever get out of it is like I'm sorry dinners and jewelry and things like that, because that's how I thought that I had to manage it." And I remember her running out of the apartment, and we had this metal screen door, and I remember that thing slamming and being terrified that she would never come back. And I remember going immediately to my phone and I grabbed my Chase Bank app and I had $4.32 in there. And I remember thinking, I can't keep doing this. And the reason I had so little money was because I was spending all of my money on those I'm sorry dinners and on jewelry for her to just try to make her feel better that I wasn't ever present with her. And so that was my full rock bottom. I was fully burnt out, and I wanted to understand why my mind and my body were at war. Why were they not working together? So it's been almost 15 years now. I created my own PhD in trauma healing and burnout recovery. I've read hundreds of academic journals and studies. And I'm such a science geek. You're going to find this out. I've gained over 1,000 hours of yoga teacher certifications and studied with leaders in our space like somatic experiencing with Peter Levine, organic intelligence with Steve Hoskinson, DARE training with Diane Poole Heller, Irene Lyon, the list goes on and on. But I realized that it was in yoga classes and on long walks, and I do these talks all around the country, and people will say things like it's on long drives or when I'm in the shower or when I'm just meandering around the beach that they get their best ideas. And I found that for me it was yoga and long walks that I felt most connected to myself while having less anxiety or overwhelm. And so I created this really simple journaling and movement system. And I just began to share it with friends who I thought would enjoy it and maybe a few clients who I thought would be receptive. And I really quickly found that this work could predictably and reliably help clients not only understand their own anxiety and imposter syndrome, but they could also recover like 5 to 10 times faster, because we're using a science-based approach and a process to get the mind, the body, and the actions all working together in like 15 minutes. It's pretty wild, and you're going to find this when you come to our sessions. But so fast forward to 2021, as I'm working with a group of 8 leaders at a very large tech company in Santa Monica. I won't name the company, but you may know that company. And so I was working with these 8 leaders, and as they're slowly sort of orienting back to the room, coming back, they kind of look like bears coming out of hibernation. One of the guys holds up his notebook. He goes, where did you learn this? Like, where did this come from? And I kind of sheepishly said, well, I don't know. I created it, almost a decade ago, and I personally shared it with thousands of leaders in groups and in one-on-one. And he looked at me, and I'll never forget this. It was with complete disgust in his face. And he said, that's a damn shame. And obviously I was completely taken aback. I was like, why is that a shame? Isn't that cool? And he said, there should be an army of people teaching this stuff with you. People really need this, and there's only one of you. And so that's all I needed to hear. And so I thought, well, what if I took my understanding of the high performance coaching industry, which I had been in at that point for over a decade, and my trauma-informed body-based background, somatics, to simplify, streamline, and systematize the entire somatic coaching process, which is exactly what I did. And we called it body-based breakthrough, B3. And so on social media, teams and leaders were wondering why are leaders and teams at Google and Apple and SpaceX and Snapchat really seeing the value of this methodology? And so I just decided, well, I'm going to just put together my first somatic coaching certification program later that year in 2021. And we helped 6 lovely, lovely humans come through this program to personally heal their own anxiety, imposter syndrome, overwhelm, while professionally really filling the gap in their ability to help their clients sustainably transform without the sort of roller coaster of transformation. We've all done talk therapy, right? And to do it without having to go through like a 3-year plus long training program. And that's the market that we've been serving ever since. And so we have a 3-month certification training program that we run that allows our coaches to be trauma informed, to truly get into the body and support their clients on a deeper level, to really go to the next level in their coaching. As coaches serving people. And so, they've been implementing it and with their coaching clients and getting extraordinary results. So I'm just incredibly excited that you're here. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of background understanding where body-based breakthrough came from and why I'm such a nerd for this stuff. And we're going to have so much fun together. So I hope you come to my sessions. I hope you come to all of the rest of our facilitator sessions. They're incredibly gifted in their own right. And I hope that you will take a look at their bios, better understand who they are, and get a chance to go check out their work as well. So incredibly blessed, grateful that you're here, and thanks for being part of the somatic coaching community. And we'll see you in our next session.